I've got so many builds on the go, instead of calling this series What's on the Bench, we should almost call it What's on the Floor. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 6 of What's on the Bench. I don't remember where those words go, but let's say they're in that general area. We got a lot to cover, so I'm going to get right into it. January, it's a whole new year, 2020. Part of my New Year's resolution this year is to take on way more builds than I could possibly have time for. So why not take on 3 whole trucks for Scale Nationals? Sorry, the cat wants out. Come on, let's go. Where was I? Oh yeah. 3 builds for Scale Nationals. We're overhauling the Element Enduro, building a Trail King from SSD, all of the What's on the Bench trucks that still need to get done. There won't be an update on the Trekker because nothing's happened to that truck in a while. It's still here though, trust me, it'll get done eventually. Range Rover gets an update, SCX-10-2 Ford F100 gets an update today, and maybe a Portal Axle UMG 10. So let's get right into it. In Harley Designs related news, I got myself a dancing rider, which I'm pretty excited about. I don't know anything about this silly thing, but I figured if Josh has one, I should probably get one to show him how to actually use it.
Boom. Roasted.
So I finally righted her wrong and put some portal axles underneath Axial's UMG 10. I am really happy with the look of this truck now that it's got Vanquish portals. These are amazing looking axles, they are amazing performing axles, and I've also increased the overall performance of the UMG 10 by putting overdrive gears for that Vanquish portal axle up front. So we are getting some overdrive in the front axle, which of course helps pull a truck up over an obstacle and also helps on downhill descents as well. So nice to have that upgrade. These were super easy to install. All the link mounts worked perfectly. None of the link lengths had to change. Everything just went together perfectly. Because they're Vanquish, they are definitely beefy. They will take a ton of abuse. And these look really good. I've put some Vanquish wheels on there for now as well. You will also notice that the tires are different. These are Proline's new Grunt 1.9s, and they're military style tire. I thought was obviously going to be perfect for a UMG build. And overall just really kind of completes the whole look. The body does sit up a lot higher now. The portals, of course, do affect your center of gravity, so that's one of the things that I'm going to try to combat. One of the things I plan on doing, haven't done yet, but will do, is I'm going to move the shocks down to where the link mounts are, rather than the traditional shock mount. I think lowering them just that 5 millimeters or so is really going to be enough to help kind of lower this truck's overall center of gravity and make it perform a little bit better off-road. But I am really happy with the look. I think I could probably go a little bit narrower on the hub as well. I think these are 350s. I could probably go to the narrowest one from Vanquish. Maybe tuck those tires in ever so slightly more. Do you think that portals should have been included on the UMG 10 from the very start? Why don't you post a comment down below and let me know what you think. I always read through all the comments and try to answer as many of them as I can. Overall, I can't wait to get this one outside. Weather is sort of unpredictable at this time of year here. We haven't gotten a major snowfall yet, which is great, but I am expecting that any day. Which kind of leads me into the next thing that's on the bench. Kyosho sent along their latest Blizzard 2.0 Snowcat, and this thing looks like a total blast. I've never had a Blizzard before. It's something that's always been on the wish list, so it's really cool that they sent this one out here. This has a really interesting front plow blade. I've seen a lot of videos online of people trying to use this to shovel their driveways. I don't think this kind of plow blade was really designed for that. I know that there are some pretty cool kits out there to turn this into a snow thrower, and that would be a really interesting upgrade, one that I'm definitely going to investigate, provided we get some snow. It's got a lot of really interesting features that I'm really excited to explore. I love tank tracks, as evidenced by this guy right here. Tank tracks are cool, AF, and this one is no exception. I'm really actually super excited about it. I know that in its stock form, it's maybe a little underpowered, but there are a lot of upgrades and a lot of upgrade paths for the Blizzard, and I'm definitely having some fun finding out what you can do to these. If you've got any ideas on what you would like me to do with this or try out with this, post them down below. I'm pretty keen to get your opinion on that. My thanks, of course, to Kyosho for sending it along. I cannot wait until there's snow to actually use it. I'll be sure to put links down below to all the things I've used today, whether it's a product or an upgrade or a full-on vehicle. I'll put a link in the description below. Third on the list for what's on the bench today is the Axial F100, and you're probably saying, hey, that looks totally stock. What have you done to it to warrant it being on the bench? Well, take a closer look and you will see that this has RC4WD Drive's SCX-10-2 Leaf conversion kit on it. This is a full-fledged kit from RC4WD Drive to convert any SCX-10-2 into a leaf-sprung truck, therefore ruining its performance capabilities. As we all know, Leafs don't nearly do as well as a linked truck on most applications. That said, you can squeeze a lot of performance out of a leaf-sprung truck. I'm using one in Class 1 this year. There's a lot of changes to that truck to make it a lot more performance capable. If you are looking to do something a little more scale accurate, or you want a bigger challenge, or you just like the look of Leafs and how they perform or don't, then this is a really great option. RC4WD Drive packages this as a kit, so it has everything you need to do the conversion, including a new set of rails. I took a look at those rails versus the stock rails on an SCX-10-2. There's only 2 holes that are different on the entire thing. Rather than use those rails and spend all that time disassembling my truck, I opted to just drill the holes myself. I created a handy little template here that mimics where those 2 new holes are, this one and this one, and traced this from the RC4WD Drive rail and copied it onto the Axial rails and drilled those holes myself, therefore saving me all the time and effort of swapping out the rails, because it's not necessarily difficult, but it is time consuming and I didn't really feel like doing it. And this way I've got an extra set of rails if I need them in the future. The conversion itself was very easy. It does require you to remove a lot of links, because you don't need links with the leaf sprung truck. You add a whole bunch of new leaf spring perches, and that's about it. There isn't much else you need to do. RC4WD Drive's leafs are notoriously strong, read firm, so rather than install all of them in the order that they should be installed, I only installed 2, the main leaf and a helper, but I put the helper on top rather than on the bottom. Putting that leaf helper on top will help with axle wrap. It doesn't do much for the actual spring rate other than reduce it overall, so it is a much springier truck and more flexible than it would be if you used all 3 leaves in the pack. This does make it a bit better performing, and overall I think it's a pretty easy to install kit if this is something you want to do. There are a few caveats that I have to mention though. When they started development on this kit, almost a year ago, I think, there weren't these models. They didn't have the F100, they didn't have the UMG10, they didn't have etc, etc. So there are some things about body mounts that are going to change. With this kit in its stock form, you can't really use the hinge mount and you can't really use the hidden body posts that they use on this truck. I've made it work here by drilling a couple additional holes, and I'm going to show you those new holes. Sounds kind of weird. And I've managed to make it work. It's sort of a hack and it's not exactly the way I would want it, but it does work just fine. If you're using, say, the Jeep 2017 edition, or you're using the Cherokee kit, that won't be an issue and everything will work just fine. On these newer kits or RTRs though, it is a bit more of a challenge to get the body mounted to make sure you don't have any body posts sticking out of the top, but it can be done, as evidenced by this truck here. The other thing to do while you're installing the kit, and the instructions all cover this by the way, is remove the springs and all the hardware that keep the springs on the shocks, because you don't have coilovers with a leaf sprung setup. It's just not done, so don't do it. Other than that though, pretty darn cool. They do offer 2 different leaf mounts, one for the one-piece RTR style axle and another for the multi-piece kit axle. Lots of fun if you want to just kind of get a little more accurate but ruin performance. And you know what? I'm not getting terrible flex out of it now that I've set up the leaves. You can also break those leaves in a bit and they will soften up over time. So the more you drive it, the better it's gonna get. While it might be a bit of a novelty for most, I do think it's pretty cool and it's nice to see it on the market. It's something that I know a lot of people have kind of been asking for a long time, and it's something that we posted as a teaser shot a long time ago on the SBG Facebook page, and it definitely got a lot of attention. They worked out a lot of kinks since that prototype, and I'm definitely glad to see it on the market. I'll be sure to put a link down below to where you can pick up this leaf spring conversion kit for an Axial SCX-10 II from RC4WD Drive. And on to a build that has been on What's on the Bench a few times before, but we are nearing completion. The GCM C-Max Range Rover Classic body from JS Scale. This is a really great kit, and it's almost done. I've done a ton of work both to the exterior and mostly the interior for this update. The interior is in mostly. There's a few bits and pieces that still have to be attached or inserted or installed. It needs a rear bench seat, but the front seats are in, the dashboard is in, steering wheel's in, door panels are in. Most of the cargo area is done and painted. I also flocked a lot of that interior. Flocked, which is like a miniature fiber, and you use some spray adhesive to kind of glue that down and into place, and it kind of replicates carpet on a much smaller scale. It looks pretty good, pretty realistic, and it's definitely something I wanted to include. I've also added some nice molded fender flares. These come white, so they had to be painted. I used a flat black paint to kind of make them look as real as possible. They contour perfectly to the body because they were made for the body. Bumpers are back from media blasting and priming. They look really great. I painted them also in a flat black as well. My friend Richard was very kind. He has a media blasting booth, so he was able to do that for me. Motor's back installed. Most of the electronics are done. Roof rack has been installed. Rear tail light covers have been installed. Gosh, I don't know what else needs to be done, but it's almost finished. My 3D printed wheels, most of them have been sanded, ready for prep and paint, so it's very close there as well. Just detail work. It's coming along. I did a very mild weathering on the interior. This is not a full interior. This was a prototype interior from JS Scale, so it's missing a few bits and pieces here and there, but it's pretty close and good enough for pictures, in my opinion. Because this is a GCM chassis, the C-Max to be more specific, it's very accurate and gives you a ton of options. Some things I've already covered in previous episodes. The radius arms up front are very scale accurate to a Range Rover, and the drivetrain allows for all these great 3D printed motors from Mr. Comedy, so you really can make it look as real as you choose. Suspension's accurate. It just is awesome, and I highly recommend the C-Max chassis if you are looking to get into ultra realistic trucks like this one. Overall, I'm just really happy with this one. I can't wait to have it finished. It's almost there. So I think that covers it for this episode of What's on the Bench. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions or you want to see any more of these builds that I've featured in this episode, be sure to put a comment down below. I love getting your feedback, and of course, it helps me curate the content for you on this channel. So the more info I get from you, the better informed I am about what sort of things you want to see in the future. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. We'll be sure to finish up a lot of these trucks in upcoming episodes. I cannot thank you enough for watching. We'll see you again soon.